Hey everybody, welcome back. My name's Gabby Giddy, and I hope you guys are having a great week. This week, I'm just gonna finish up my trip. The last place I was traveling before I had to come home was Melbourne. I absolutely adore this city and could easily see myself moving here. It's honestly one of my favorite cities that I've traveled to so far, and yeah, I'll get into it. While I was in Melbourne, I ended up staying with my friend Ruby. It was so nice to reconnect and just kind of explore Melbourne through her eyes. So she was living in the Brunswick area. I got to do a lot of fun things with her. So to begin, she picked me up at the airport at like midnight. So thank you, Ruby. I appreciate you so much. The next day, went and explored the city. We subwayed into the city and just explored the CBD, and there's a ton of street art. It was just a really fun place to visit and just explore as a tourist, and I think when you're living there as well. From there, we went to the National Gallery of Victoria. So we went to this art gallery, which again was a really spectacular gallery, and it had a lot more modern art and things like that. So we explored that and checked out some of the exhibitions that were going on. And the next day, we ended up going thrifting, which is really fun because Melbourne's known for some good op shopping, and that was really fun to do. So after that, we got home and then we went bouldering. So she belongs to a bouldering gym, and I tried for my first time. That was actually really fun, and Ruby's a killer boulder, so it was cool to see that.
Hi, my name's Ruby. I live in Melbourne, Australia, and I had the pleasure of meeting Gabby when we were on the same Sahara Desert trip in Morocco in 2018. So Gabby asked me to talk a little bit about Melbourne, which I said I would gladly do. Basically, I say it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world. I love it so much. It's got incredible architecture, both old and new. It's got so many things to do. I swear you can never get bored here. Incredible food, so much vegan food and so many different options. We've got a really inclusive community, very queer friendly, very diverse. And that's kind of one of the best things about Melbourne, is that it is literally so multicultural. It's got people from all over the world, so it's just like every corner of the world in one city altogether, which I love. So some of the things I like doing, going bouldering, which is like a different type of rock climbing, and that's got a big culture in Melbourne as well. Visiting the parks, the museums, going to cafes, going op shopping. There's just, you can never run out of things to do in Melbourne. So yeah, I hope that everybody has the pleasure to visit one day, and everybody please go and subscribe to Gabby's YouTube channel, like all the videos and watch all of them. Okay, thank you so much. Hope you have an amazing day. Bye.
The next day, I went into the city and ended up seeing my friend Charlotte. Just realized we're both in the city at the same time, so we met up for brunch, and I got to see her apartment, and she lives in the CBD, which is Central Business District, and she has the most incredible apartment I've ever seen. It literally looks over such a beautiful part of Melbourne. A couple days later, I ended up seeing my friend Lanny. So Lanny and I also graduated from Queen's together, and she's au pairing in Australia right now. Really great to see her. We went to a parliament tour. I don't really know why, but it was honestly pretty educational. Canada and Australia are even more alike than I once thought. I don't really know. We were like, what do we do? Oh, Parliament's on our list. Let's go check it out. And then that afternoon, I ended up meeting up with my friend Dan, and we went to the beach with his friends, and that was, again, really fun to see him because I hadn't seen him in a little while. Something that was really funny was that just like how many friends were in Melbourne at once. So I literally was there for like 9 or 10 days, and I've never been in one city for that long. I had so much to do every single day. After staying with Ruby, I bussed to Deakin University, where Dan goes to school, picked me up, and we went to Mount Martha. So this is where Dan lives. So I stayed with him for a couple days. Again, met more of his friends. We went out with them. So in Australia, they have this tradition where they have like the hottest 100 countdown. On Australia Day or somewhere around there, we were in Cambodia and listened to the hottest 100 together. And then because it was the end of the decade, they had again a hottest 100 of the decade. So him and I listened to that on the beach.
That's the yin yang. It's okay.
And then his friends ended up joining us, and then we ended up going for a walk because we saw fire down the beach. Ended up going to this person's beach box party. So they'd converted these beach boxes into like their little place where they just go hang out and party and whatever. So we joined them, and it was a really fun time.
Hi Gabby, and I think you're really cool when you found our fire and you like walked all the way over to us, and we're having a really fun time in this boat shed. Cool lights and stuff. There's the ocean way out there.
Hey, how you going? My name's Crofty. I'm actually one of the sole leaders of the group here down at Mount Martha. It's great to have you here, and yeah, that's about it. Thanks for having us. Cheers.
It's just a really fun time. That was really nice seeing Dan because we had traveled through Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand, so that was the last time I saw him. So then I trained back into Melbourne, and I stayed with my friend Liv. So Liv has been living in Melbourne since July. Went to some cool roof rooftop bars and just kind of hung out. They live in Fitzroy, which is like the hipstery place of Melbourne, and it was really nice. Like everybody I stayed with was in such different neighborhoods, and it was just so many different types of Melbourne that I got to experience.
So everything's just started opening up again. So we've come to Mount Buffalo National Park and we're just at the Robin Falls and Lady Bath Falls. This is Liv and this is the path up. We've got a probably 10-minute walk ahead of us, so we'll cut forward to that. This is the sign. It's really nice. Hopefully the water's flowing. It sounds like it is. And you get all the little lyrebirds. These are all the beginning of the snow gums. These ones aren't quite proper snow gums, but they're the alpine ones. You get all these little beautiful ferns in here. So we'll keep climbing.
Not bad.
Come around this corner, you see a really cool waterfall. And the water flows from here down there. All the way up from up there. So we're going to keep hiking up because there's an even better waterfall, and this is all snow melt because we had a bit of snow the other week. And there's this secret little place off the edge of the track, and you can sneak in here and come have a swim in summer. Probably a bit cold now. And just sit. And then you come around the corner. I don't know how well you can see it, but all up through there. It flows down. Then you hike all the way up here. So we finally arrived at your Robin Falls lookout, and it's quite nice down there. But when you look up, it's a big waterfall. It's a big girl. And you can see where that pit is flowing. I don't know where you can see it in the video, but that there is flowing in the crack in that granite, which has come from that hole being so deep. This is the last one. Big granite rock faces. Live. And that's the path up here. So, Gabby, we thought we'd get a video at our next spot. And what it is it's a lookout at the chalet. And if you come at the right time of year, you can abseil down here. At the top of Mount Buffalo, at the chalet.
Not bad at all. And this just goes like straight down. So now that we've seen everything, I'm still being a tourist, and look at how big some of these gum trees get. Jeez. Okay, he's gone. I need to catch up. So, that was not the average day in lockdown, but I think we've done fairly well to show you where we are and hopefully where we'll get to go see.
Hi guys, my name's Lanny. A little over a month ago, Gabby joined me here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia, where I've been au pairing for a lovely host family. I've been here for a couple months now, so I've had a little bit of time to go out, do some exploring, do some fun stuff, and I'd love to share some of that with you. In terms of the actual size of the city, in my opinion, it is perfect. You never feel too overwhelmed, and you never feel like everything is too too busy and too bustling. It's hip, it's chill, it's laid back. It actually reminds me a lot of Vancouver back home, which is kind of fun. The people are also great, always friendly and pretty funny too. When you're walking down the street in the Central Business District, which they call the CBD, you will find the most incredible street art down all of the alleyways. I like to spend my afternoons in one of the several cute, cozy cafes with a yummy mocha and a good book. If you're looking to do some drinking of a different kind, you will not have any trouble finding amazing rooftop bars with just stunning sunset skylines when you're out with some buddies having a pint. So that's always super fun as well. In terms of things to do, so much stuff. If you want to exercise while traveling, there are a bunch of running and cycling trails running along the Yarra River, which is kind of close to where I live. That has been a nice way to stay connected to nature while also, you know, doing your physical exercise. I had the chance to go to the Australian Open, which was a really fun time. Even if you're not that into tennis, it's still a cool atmosphere. So I'd recommend checking that out. That usually happens at the end of January, start of February. Probably the coolest thing that I've done since coming here was skydive over St. Kilda Beach. So I've been told there are very few skydiving opportunities where you can dive over the beach as well as the city, and St. Kilda is one of those places. So if you have the opportunity to do that, I highly recommend. That was a big check off my bucket list. I would say the only slight downturn is that the weather can be a little crazy here. They often say that Melbourne can experience all 4 seasons in one day. That has certainly proven to be true. For example, this morning it was bright and beautiful and sunny and warm, and now it is currently a little dark and gloomy and might rain. I am looking forward to staying here a little longer, spending a couple more months here and seeing what else this amazing city has to offer. Thanks guys, bye.
Hey everyone, my name is Daniel. I'm from an area called the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, Australia. I met Gabby in Vietnam and we travelled together for a little while. Gabby came to stay with me while she was in Australia over a weekend in March. There are plenty of things to do down here on the peninsula, including bushwalking, with one of my favourite bushwalks being the Bushrangers Bay Bushwalk.
Alrighty.
There is a place called Sorrento, which is a beautiful place for a day trip. In Sorrento, there is an old naval fort called Fort Nepean, which is a great walk and a fantastic place to check out. There is also the Peninsula Hot Springs, which after a long day can be a fantastic way to end the day. If you love your food and drink, the Mornington Peninsula is also a wine region, which means that there are plenty of fantastic wineries and a few pretty decent breweries. That's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I moved to Melbourne at the beginning of December and I very quickly fell in love with the city. It's the kind of place that it takes you no time at all just to feel comfortable and like you're at home. There's so many great things about Melbourne. Personally love how much green space there is everywhere. You kind of get that feeling of being out in the open while still being within a big city. It's not hard to find a patch of grass and some trees to just sit down and relax. And everybody loves to go to parks and everybody plays sport. They'll play music, catching up with friends and walking dogs. It's just a really great little place to have within the city, and you find them everywhere. I mean, you get all these big parks within the central city, which is really, really nice. I also really love the food and coffee culture in Melbourne. It's probably my favorite part. You can't go anywhere without having an amazing cup of coffee, whether it be a small little cafe or a big chain. You're never gonna find a bad cup of coffee. It's always gonna be phenomenal. Something else that's pretty cool is that Melbourne is really close to a beach called St. Kilda's, which is a great place to go out for drinks with friends or to be able to go for a surf. It's nice to have that within about half an hour from the city, which is really helpful when you need a little bit of an outlet after a hard week. It's just nice to have that nature really close by. You also get some really crazy wildlife that I wasn't expecting in the city. Cockatoos, those white birds with the yellow feathers, they're everywhere in the city. Or they'll have possums in the park park at night that are super friendly and used to everybody. There's a place called Phillips Island that's just outside of the city on the bus that you can go in the summer over there and watch the penguins come in from being out at sea, or there are little seals that are there early in the year, which is pretty cool that you get to experience that. Melbourne also has amazing live music scenes. The park across the street from me constantly is having music festivals. They'll set it up for a few weeks and then you just have this big free concert that all these people will come and enjoy. It's really amazing. There are also all these concert venues that bring in a lot of really cool artists, which kind of adds to the feeling of Melbourne that you can be almost anybody and fit in Melbourne. There's something for everyone.
My time in Melbourne was phenomenal. I will be back there. I might move there. Again, the only thing I think Charlotte mentioned was the weather, and it was kind of sporadic. Super fun being in Melbourne. Unfortunately, I had to end my trip there. I just wanted to thank everybody that did host me in Australia. It was so fun to see all you guys. It's so nice keeping in contact with you and you sending me all your nice photos. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed my friends sending in videos. I thought it was really fun editing those and just replaying our time back together. Yeah, so like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.